Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Kyrielle. Today we are doing another foundation wear test on a brand new drop from Fenty. It is the new Eaze Drop Blurring Skin Tint. These kind of products are perfect for the warmer weather coming up, and I know a lot of people have been excited about this. Obviously any drop from Fenty is kind of hyped, so I was really excited to grab this and try it for myself. I picked up the shade 1, and if you're new to my channel, I have combo oily skin. We're going to go through the finish, the consistency, how it applies. I'm going to do a full day wear test and we'll see how this baby lasts on my skin type. And if you are new, why not subscribe? All you need to do is hit the red buttons down below and the little bell button, and that'll just notify you when I upload next. I do a lot of foundation reviews, product reviews, tutorials, just generally playing around with makeup here, and I would love to have you. You are more than welcome to stick around. So yeah, I think it's best to stop blabbing your ear off. If you're interested to see how this baby works, then just keep on watching. I know, another foundation review. I don't usually like to put these back to back, but I was really excited to try this foundation, so I hope you guys can forgive me. Thanks for sticking around. Let's get right into the claims of this foundation. I got mine from Boots. I did get it when it's on offer, but traditionally it's £25. It's available on various different retailers though, like HARVEY, NICHOLS, Fenty Beauty's website directly. I'll leave all the links down below for you guys, so if you wanted to, you can pick it up yourself. So this is what the box looks like. Very standard Fenty. So it comes in 25 shades, which is like half of the shades that Fenty usually brings out. However, it is supposed to be a skin tint, so it's supposed to be more flexible, and they say if you have a shade within the original Fenty range, you'll be able to find a shade that works for you in this. I picked up the lighter shade, which is number 1, and in their range I'm like 110, 120, so I'm definitely on the fairer scale. You'll see in the application how the shade works for me, so we'll get to that in a little bit. They claim that this is supposed to be a buildable light to medium coverage and also long wear. They say it has a quick blur complex for a hydrating diffused effect. I'm not quite sure what that means, but essentially it's supposed to be blurring. It's supposed to have a smooth texture that layers well with the primer and skincare, so they're not necessarily saying you need a primer, but you can use it with one. They say it applies well with your fingertips and a brush, which I do try it with both. I do actually try applying it with my fingers as well. And they also claim it's supposed to be humidity, sweat and transfer resistant, so not transfer proof, but transfer resistant. I appreciate the honesty. Obviously, as I said, I have more oily skin, so we'll see what my face looks like by the end of the day, and it's 100% cruelty free. But yeah, I think that's all I need to say on the foundation. Let's do some swatches and then we'll head straight onto the application. See you guys in a sec. Alright, let's do some swatches. So first of all, we've got the Fenty Beauty Eaze Blur Foundation in the shade 1. Then we have the Fenty Pro Filter Foundation, the matte version, in the shade 110. Then the Urban Decay Hydromaniac Foundation in the shade Ultra Fair 10. The Revolution Pro CC Perfecting Foundation in the shade F.3. Then we have the L'Oreal Tinted Water Cream in the shade Fair 02. And then finally we have the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Foundation, and this is in the shade 20N. I'm going to be doing my usual. I'm going to be trying it with a brush and a sponge. I think this product as well is good to use with your fingers, so I may try that as well. Sorry if you guys can hear the birds. My window is open. It's boiling. We're having a heat wave here. But let's try this on. This is pretty cool packaging. It's very different. I like it. It has a little squeezy tube bottle. I did say the other day I feel like brands are going more towards these kind of bottles at the moment. Anyway, let's see what the consistency is like. Oh, it's actually thicker than I thought it would be. I'm gonna just compare this to my chest because this is where I like to match to. My face is darker than my chest and neck, so let's just have a quick look, shall we? So this is the foundation. Actually that looks real good, and this looks like it'll just kind of like melt into my skin. Yeah, see? That looks pretty good for me. Let's try this on the face. Obviously I have a little bit on the back of my hand, so I'm just going to use the brush and see how far this goes, even though it's really not that much, but we shall see. Okay, that was a decent amount of product and it's spreading quite far. Ooh. Okay, so that kind of covered like this part of my face, and when I say covered, I mean I can see the product here because of the colour really. There's not that much coverage at all, but this is supposed to be a skin tint, so I wasn't expecting full coverage, but I will need to add some more product for the rest of my face. I'm just gonna add a little dribble more. Let me just dot a little around here, just layer it a little bit, and I'm gonna pat this in. I quite like the kind of coverage of this because it's not too much, but it's evening me out, you know. Super lightweight as well and thin in consistency. And I just realized I did not zoom you in for a before shot. God damn it. I'll zoom you in on this side so I can show you what we're working with. But so far, this is applying real nicely. So this is my before. As you guys can see, I've got a lot of discoloration, freckles, redness, spots, texture, you know, the whole shebang. I have not the biggest, but I have some enlarged pores. So yeah, that's your before. And this is with using the brush just after. I can see the blurring effect that is going on. It's not completely got rid of my pores or anything like that, but it's definitely blurring my skin and almost creating like a veil, if that makes sense. I'm quite liking the way this is looking so far. It has like a slight radiance to it as well. It's not completely flat or anything. But yeah, let's now try it with the sponge. Alright, I just took this down my neck and used up pretty much what was left on the back of my hand. So I am going to have to squeeze out a little bit more. So far I'm using a little bit of product, but I am quite happy with the results so far. I do have a feeling I'm going to get a lot less coverage with the sponge. That is expected though, but let's just try this on. I am quite glad with how fair this shade is compared to a lot of other products like this. They're always quite dark, but this is really good shade wise. Yeah, as expected, very light coverage, really lovely finish though. I can definitely see a blurring effect on this side as well, but it is just a lot less coverage. I actually don't mind it. It's just kind of evened me out, and even though you can still see like redness and stuff coming through, it doesn't look that bad. It just makes my skin look better, you know. I will definitely have to even myself out because I have a lot more coverage over here, but I actually don't mind this. So as you guys can see, this is the brush side, got a little bit more coverage. Really love the finish though. And then this is the sponge side, which is less impactful, but it's just kind of blurred over my skin a little. I just look a little bit more even, you know. Before I go ahead and even myself out, I am just going to use my fingers on my forehead, see how this applies. I need a little bit more product. This is my third time bringing out about that much, so it's not a drastic amount. Let's just try applying this with my fingers to see how I like it. Oh, I got it all on my eyebrow. Typically I do not like applying foundation and stuff with my fingers. It just takes ages to blend in. And also it just gets your hands dirty for no reason, you know. Texture of this is kind of weird. It kind of feels almost oily. I would describe it as like a dry oil. That's almost what it feels like. Like it doesn't feel oily, but it kind of does. Do you know what I mean? It's blended out nicely, but I am just going to go over it with my brush because I don't trust myself with having streaks. But yeah, you could apply it with your fingers. It just takes a little bit longer to blend out. I do love the way it's laying on my skin currently. I'm just going to even myself out with the rest that was on my hand. I barely used any for my forehead. So let me just even myself up. See if this builds, you know. Sitting a little bit weirdly by here. Let me just see if my sponge will help that. Not really. Still looking a little bit funky. Okay, so I kind of went around this area with my fingers and then blended it out with a sponge, and it seems to have gotten rid of any texture that built up because I did have a little bit of an issue over here. But now I am super happy with the way my skin looks. It's just evened out my skin tone, evened out my texture. It's just smoothed me out ever so slightly. I really like the color. I really like the finish, that it still has a little bit of radiance to it, but it's not like dewy or anything like that. You can still see my skin through, but I just look more awake, you know, a little bit healthier. More alive. It does feel slightly tacky, so I'm definitely gonna have to set this one down. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way my skin is looking. I do just have to mention, this does have like a fragrance to it. It almost smells of like sunscreen. I can't smell it on my face now, but when I was applying it, I was like, whew, I can smell ya. But it's not bad. It just smells like sun cream. So just FYI. It's now 12:04, so we'll call the check-in time 12 o'clock. I'm starting a little bit later in the day, but I stay up late, so we'll be fine. We'll have at least 10 hours with this. I'm now gonna go ahead, finish off the rest of my face. I'm just gonna do some simple makeup today, and yeah, we'll see how this wears throughout the day. See you guys in a sec. Alright you guys, so I quickly did some basic makeup. Brows are very large and in charge because I dyed them last night. So please try and ignore them. They'll die down soon. But I just did some basic makeup. It's now just about 1:15. This has been on for just over an hour, really. and this is what it's looking like. It's pretty much looking the same. I have set this down with powder and it still has that nice sheen to it, which I appreciate. I haven't added any highlight to this just because I wanted to showcase the finish in itself and didn't want to add anything like that. I've just added like a little bit of blush and bronzer really. I will say when I was applying some of my bronzer, it did kind of disturb a little bit of the product over here a little bit on the right cheek. So it looks a little bit more textured over there, but everything else looks pretty much the same. It's not the best my skin has ever looked, but it's looking pretty decent for just like a skin tint kind of product, you know? It hasn't completely like diminished my pores or anything, so maybe this would look better with a pore filling primer. That'll definitely be something I will try with this, but for now, as a first impressions, it's looking pretty good and I really like the finish of it. My skin just looks radiant, you know? I don't like too dewy or anything, so I appreciate that. And I love the shade. It's like perfect for me. Yeah, I'm gonna now go on with the rest of my day and I'll check back in with you guys in a few hours. See you in a sec. Hey guys, it's now 5:25. So this has been on coming up to 5.5 hours now. Thought I'd do a quick check-in to let you guys know exactly how it's holding up. So let's take a look. Still looking even, there's no patchiness going on. I am looking a little bit more oily in the center of my face. You can probably see it's definitely more oily than glowy. And also my hair is kind of like sticking to my face. At this point, I would definitely like to powder. If I was to be wearing it in like a general basis, you know, I would definitely lightly powder down. It's not settling into any fine lines though, or anything like that. The texture is pretty much looking the same. Looking at my chin, actually, it may have faded a little bit. I might have been leaning on my face. And also, just checking around my nose back here, where I've had like a little itch, it's kind of come off a little bit. But it's not breaking up anywhere else on my face, just kind of where I've touched it. It's kind of rubbed off a little. And that is probably because my natural oils are coming through, so it's breaking it down a little bit. Obviously, I did set this, but my oils are working through the powder, as they do, you know? So yeah, it's not transfer proof, but you know, they didn't say that. They said it was transfer resistant. So far it's not looking too bad, just a little bit more oily than what I would personally like. Obviously this is only 5.5 hours in though, so it's not even a full working day, so that's kind of disappointing, but we shall see if there's any drastic changes throughout the day. I'm obviously going to be wearing this for a few more hours, so yeah, I'll get to that and see you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, before I pop away, I thought I'd do a natural lighting check-in like we did in my last video. I've actually taken you off the tripod, so I'm sorry if this is a little bit shaky. This is vlog style and I don't do vlogs, so I'm just standing by my window, so this is what the foundation looks like in real life. I really like the shade. It is my perfect shade in my opinion. It just matches my chest and neck really well, and even though this is a skin tint, it's probably covered my discoloration and evened me out, so I really like the shade. But this is a little close-up for you guys in natural lighting. This is just after my last check-in, by the way, so it's now just gone 5:30. Yeah, you can really see my oils coming through, but it's all good. But yeah, that is it on that. I'll see you guys in a few hours. Bye. Hey guys, it is now just gone 10:30 in the evening. I'm very tired. I can't wait to wash my face. But let's do a final check-in, shall we? So at this point, it's been on my face for around 10.5 hours. So it's had a decent wear test, you know? It is not looking that bad. I did go out earlier, so I did wear a mask as well. And it hasn't really transferred on the bottom of my face where my mask was. I feel like it may have faded a little bit in places, but it hasn't completely disappeared. I'm obviously looking quite shiny. That's completely normal on my skin type, you know, but compared to some other foundations, my forehead isn't that bad. I recently tried the KVD Good Apple foundation and I was shiny by the end of that, but I'm not that bad actually with this one. And I've used exactly the same primer. The fading on my chin is still there like it was earlier. I can see it's disappeared around my nose a little bit, and I have seemed to wipe my nose, so it's just come off. And yeah, just a little bit on my face by here, there's just fading. It also looks quite movable and I can definitely feel my oils on my skin, you know, and it is transferring. Obviously I was a bit firm with my finger then, but it is starting to come off. But my skin still looks really even for 10.5 hours. And yeah, the actual foundation hasn't broken up because of my oils coming through. There's no separation, anything like that. Even my blush and bronzer are still on my face. So I'm actually pretty impressed. Yeah, I think it's lasted actually really well. I'm not mad at the way my skin looks. I could just powder down in these areas, maybe blot a little bit before I did that, and I think it would be acceptable. You know, I think this has done what it says on the tin. It's lightweight, it blurs your skin a little, it evens out your skin tone. I think it's exactly what you want a skin tint to do, with a little bit more of a buildable, fuller coverage than just completely nothing, you know? I think I love that most about it, is that it's not just a complete sheer wash or product compared to like what the Barry M was, you know. This has some coverage and it's evened me out to my neck. It's managed to lighten me up slightly more in the face because I do have so much redness. And yeah, I'm super happy. I'm definitely gonna wear this more, and I'm so glad that there's a shade in this that suits my skin tone, and hopefully there'll be a lot of people who'll be able to get their hands on this because it has 25 shades. I was actually thinking about that earlier, and I don't think there's a similar product like this that has this many shades, apart from maybe MAC Face and Body. I don't even know how many shades that has, but that's sheerer coverage again. But anyway, yeah, I'm super happy with the way my skin looks. I think it's lasted really well and I'm gonna use it again. So on that note, I'm gonna head out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe it helped you decide whether you're gonna put this up or not. Let me know if you are in the comments down below, and if you did want to, there are links down in the description box. Just to let you know, they are actually affiliate links, so if you're not comfortable with using those, please feel free not to do that. You can just go directly to the website yourself. But thank you if you do decide to use any of the links below. They will be marked with a star so you know exactly which one is affiliated. If you're new to my channel, I hope you decide to stick around. If you'd like to, all you need to do is hit the red button down below and the bell button. That'll just notify you when I upload next, which is every Monday and Thursday. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna stop blabbing. I hope I see you on the next one. Until then, bye guys.